Have you ever pondered the profound question of how the story of Jesus' birth unfolded? The events leading up to, during and after his birth are not only central to the Christian faith, but also have had a profound influence on world history. In the chronological order of events, the story begins with the Annunciation. This is the moment when the angel Gabriel came to Mary, a young woman engaged to a man named Joseph in the small town of Nazareth. Gabriel brought a message from God announcing that Mary was to bear a child who would be named Jesus. This child, the angel proclaimed, would be the Son of God. Mary, though initially frightened and perplexed, accepted this divine plan with faith. Following this divine announcement, Mary visited her relative Elizabeth, who was also miraculously pregnant in her old age with John the Baptist. Elizabeth confirmed the angel's message, and Mary sang a song of praise to God known as the Magnificat. As Mary's pregnancy advanced, a decree from the Roman Emperor Augustus required Joseph and Mary to travel to Bethlehem, Joseph's ancestral home, for a census. The journey was long and arduous, especially for Mary, who was nearing the end of her pregnancy. Upon their arrival in Bethlehem, they found the town packed with travelers. Despite their best efforts, they couldn't find suitable lodging. In the end, they took shelter in a stable. It was there, surrounded by animals and shepherds, that Mary gave birth to Jesus. The birth of Jesus was marked by wondrous signs. A bright star shone in the sky, guiding wise men from the east to Bethlehem. These wise men brought gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, recognizing Jesus as King, God, and suffering servant. Meanwhile, shepherds in the fields were visited by a host of angels who announced the birth of the Savior. Overwhelmed with joy, the shepherds hurried to Bethlehem, finding Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus, just as the angels had described. Following Jesus' birth, Mary and Joseph presented him at the temple in Jerusalem, fulfilling Jewish law. There, two elderly and devout people, Simeon and Anna, recognized Jesus as the long-awaited Messiah. The events surrounding Jesus' birth, however, weren't all joyful. King Herod, feeling threatened by the news of a new king, ordered the massacre of all boys under the age of 2 in Bethlehem. To escape Herod's wrath, an angel warned Joseph in a dream to flee to Egypt. The family remained there until Herod's death, after which they returned to Nazareth, where Jesus grew up. In summarizing the story of Jesus' birth, we've journeyed from the Annunciation to the flight into Egypt. We've seen angels delivering divine messages, prophetic recognitions, and the harsh reality of a ruler's fear, resulting in a horrific decree. We've also witnessed the faith of a young woman, the obedience of a humble man, and the arrival of a baby who Christians believe would change the course of history. This is the story of Jesus' birth, a narrative that continues to inspire and shape lives more than 2,000 years later. Remember, the essence of this story is not just about historical events, but about faith, hope, and divine love breaking into our world in the most unexpected of ways.